Welcome to Modern Mystic Messages. I'm Teresa. Thank you so much for stopping by today and clicking on this video. And if this is your first time here, of course, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, soul family. I definitely miss you all, and I'm glad to be getting back into the swing of things here a little bit. I've been off for a couple of days. Uh, I debated whether I was going to make this video or not, but I feel like I have to address it in a certain way because I want to leave a bit of an energy signature at the end of it. I want to address something that I've been going through, and I knew it was going to happen, but I want to address it here so I can kind of leave it parked here, um, and not have to address it in as much detail later. And it's basically dealing with like the trolls, the proselytizers, the do-gooders, and things that come into the live streams. We have such good conversations during the live streams, and if you haven't been able to join a live session yet, oh my goodness, please do so, and they're going to get even better. And excuse me, I know, excuse me, I've always known that the trolls were going to come to some degree. I started watching different live streams for many different types of genres or niches, if you will, before I chose to start going live. And that's the common thing that I've noticed. It doesn't matter who is on here doing what. There's always going to be some people that are so rude and have so little intelligence or so little to do with their lives that they take it upon themselves to come into other people's live streams and be disrespectful. It boggles my mind at the adults that are that rude and willing to do that. It really, really does, because I'm just not that person. I've always respected the online space to a degree. I know that there are other people on the other side of that. And even before I started creating content of my own, I respected the fact that whether I agree with what a content creator is putting out there or not, they've taken their time to produce content for something that is important to them. Now, I do comment a lot on the comment threads for like short reels and stuff where the content creator has put a controversial issue or piece up there to invite comment. I'm not talking about that. But even at that, I'm very careful not to personally attack the content creator. Now, they may be showing us some Karen or somebody out there showing their behind, and they're inviting us to talk about that issue. But I know that it takes a lot for somebody to get up every day and do these videos. There's a whole lot of people out there so stuck in there, I'm shy, this, that, or I can't this, or I'm whatever, that they won't even turn the camera on to make one video, much less show up every day to continue to do it. So for mean-spirited people to come on there and just attack a content creator, shame on you. Grow up, people. You know what I'm saying? If you now again, if you're actually watching this video, I doubt that applies to you unless you get referred to it in the future from one of the live streams and you just actually happen to come through and do that. And truthfully, if you were referred to this video from a live stream and you actually took the step of sitting down to watch this video, congratulations, because that means you're not a completely as degenerate as you appear to be when you come up in somebody's house and kick the door in and start being rude and going off about something because you don't agree with their views. I tell them all the time, if you got something you want to say on YouTube, the channels are free. Create your own channel and you can say pretty much whatever you want within YouTube guidelines. But coming up in another content creator's house is literally the equivalent of walking up to a stranger's front doorstep and start screaming at them because you don't like the color they painted their front door. It's just that silly and just that inappropriate. Because most people that do this stuff online would never get up in a person's actual face because they're usually cowardly and they don't want to be seen as ridiculous as they are. But they get online. And here's the thing, they really forget the ones that be saying racist stuff and bullying stuff and talking about body image and those sorts of things. That's actually illegal. And if you get bad enough and get reported enough, YouTube and the people on the internet that run these channels can track you down. There can be actual legal consequences to the crap that you do to people in live streams. Y'all might want to remember that. I'm just saying, But the reason I wanted to speak on it, because I know at first a lot of the folks in the family were like, just ignore it, just ignore it. And some of these people that come in there say, well, you're not giving us, or you have to give them an opportunity to say what they want. You shutting off anybody that don't agree with what you say. You don't have to. And I know I'm definitely not going to entertain people that are coming in with a whole bunch of dissenting opinions, because the information that I'm sharing, I know there are folks out there that don't agree with what I have to say. They didn't agree with it when Yeshua said it. But that don't mean I have to allow all the proselytizers and the do-gooders to come in there, because they would just take over the channel, and that's what they come in to attempt to do. They are so lofty in they're so arrogant in their ignorance that they think they're going to come in and correct somebody, and they have no idea what they're talking about. So the people that are coming in that are wanting to learn, when that happens, I generally will address it, especially if they say something that's super confusing and dead ass wrong from what I've learned in my research. And I can say it's wrong with authority because I've done the research. Most of the time they come in and they're spewing the kindergarten, Sunday school version of whatever they were told in church, ain't did a lick of research. So they be just as loud and proud and wrong as two left shoes. I'm just saying. But that's what happens. So basically, when I separated it into three, trolls to me are just really, really immature people. Truthfully, those are the people that should have had better parents. They weren't taught to be civilized. They weren't taught to have manners. They just honestly think that they can go in and be just as rude and offensive as they want to be. Those are the people that yell and scream and curse people out at the cash registers and make waitresses cry and get involved in road rage and come up in live streams and make comments about people's body image or their teeth or their hair or what they look like or their weight, or all just ignorant stuff, or make very inappropriate sexual comments and all that kind of stuff. Just not really cool people, not displaying a lot of intelligence. Honestly, those are the easiest ones to deal with, because I ain't even got to argue with them, debate or nothing else. As soon as they come out with that, by the time they type they're off of my channel. They don't get to get the rest out, because I don't have to tolerate that. That's ignorant and illegal. That's a hate crime. And they stupid enough to go into a profile that they use and attach one of their personal email addresses to, and make racial comments like that, and think that they're gonna continue to get away with it forever. Ignorant. So I don't even worry about them. Those will just immediately be made invisible, timed out. If they 5-10 minutes, what have you, if they come back and do it again, they'll just be made invisible off the channel, and they won't get to ever comment again unless or until I choose to go in and clear that list and allow them to come back in. Because those are just professional idiots. That's what I call them. I don't worry about them too much. The ones that I want to talk about are the proselytizers and the do-gooders. The proselytizers, again, they got just enough spiritual information to be dangerous. They've been plunked in a chair since they was a little kid, and somebody then crammed them and waterboarded them and hypnotized them with this religiosity. And they haven't bothered to read a book or a publication or nothing outside of their church approved or synagogue approved or Majid approved reading materials. Because if they had bothered to read a book anywhere, they would know that the things that I'm saying on this channel are not new, and they're not things that other biblical scholars, theologians, scientists, and everything else in the field of paleo contact and all those things that we're speaking on. Those are things that have been said and known and understood in those academic circles for over 100 years now. It's just the ignorant church folk that's still clinging to the lie, because the church is still selling them the lie, even though the scientists and the anthropologists and the theologians and the paleo contact experts and all of them people have been paying attention to what they've been digging up out the ground for the last 200 or 300 years. And as those documents are being translated in the academic circles, they're willing to understand that the things that we're talking about here, that where y'all think I even get the information from? These are seminary trained people, Bible translators, other ancient text translators that can read the original languages and have read the original languages and had and gone back and written dissertations and whole books and done movies and interviews and on and on and on, and been publishing this content for 100 years. And then somebody from the first congregation of where the heck ever on the corner somewhere, led by a lay preacher, jumps up in here loud and wrong, want to correct everybody with that Jesus is Lord, Jesus is Lord. You ain't got nothing better to say? We know Jesus is a Lord, but you're trying to turn around and deify him, which directly goes against what he told you to do. And you're offering him up in service to a God that he clearly told you he does not serve. Which brings me to the do-gooders. Now, the proselytizers, same thing. Some of them, because I do have a few preachers and pastors and whatnot that want to learn. If they're willing to be nice, I welcome all of them. They might actually learn some stuff, because I had to learn it too. I was stuck in that kind of programming once upon a time too. As long as they'll be quiet and respectful, I'll address questions as I can. But if they just get argumentative and want to keep bringing in distractive or distractionary type questions, they'll be muted as well. It just I can't keep letting strangers come in as interlopers and take over this classroom. The folks that are logging in and subscribing to the channel really want to learn this information. So I got to do better with not addressing or responding to all of that. So that's why I said I'm going to make this video to put the energy of my response into one pat video that they can be referred to, or whatever they can do. The energy of it sits here with this channel. And then from now on, during the live streams, if they get started up, the mods will just get rid of them, and I don't even have to address those questions. We'll go on to some real questions from people that are genuinely seeking answers, not people that just throwing up argumentative questions just to derail the conversation, so to speak. But the do-gooders, in my opinion, are the most dangerous ones that come here. And they truthfully, that's the reason I'm making this whole video. I just had to include them other ones on the front end so we understand that there's a difference. I actually had a comment, a little lengthy comment by a do-gooder yesterday. I think it was yesterday. At the time of this recording, it was a day ago. And ironically enough, this lady was one of them. She had tarot in her handle name, but she doesn't have any subscribers. So I don't know if she was ever a reader or what. But she was coming informing me how she could see that I love Yeshua. She could see the energy, and she knows that I'm so sincere. And she was too, but her guides led her back to Jehovah, and she gonna lift me up in prayer. And she put a long prayer out there, and oh, Father, I ask you this, and Father, I ask you that, and lift her up so that her eyes can be open and she can come back to you. How effing dare you? How freaking dare you? How damn arrogant do you have to be spiritually to assume that everybody on the planet worships the devil just because you choose to? I'm telling you, the reason that I stopped worshiping Yahweh was because I learned that he is Satan, the devil. And then you're going to turn around and tell me you're lifting me up to deliver me back to Satan because you chose to go back to him? I rebuke that all day. And honestly, that's the reason I had to make this video. because they don't even realize. Some of them do it intentionally though. The ones that do it in ignorance, I would have just let it go. But it's some of them that have made a personal ministry out of going to various channels on YouTube and doing that ignorant mess. And what that amounts to is spell casting. It's a binding spell, and they know that it's an attempt at doing a binding spell. And I rebuke it all day. And I call on my guides, Lord Enki, Yeshua, Archangel Michael, Thoth, Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Metatron, and Archangel Raphael. I call on all of those and ask that any time any one of them demonic do-gooders that dare to come in here and assume that they're going to decide on anybody's spirituality and try to wrap them up and retie them to y'all the Baal, I ask that their energy be neutralized, wrapped, and returned to them in love, and absolutely returned to sender. They can have all of that they want, but what they can't do is waterboard me or the ones that are being taught by me with that type of energy. That's just, first off, if you're Christian, how dare you to even, because like I said, what about Judaism and Islam? Yeah, ultimately, they all worshiping the same God, but most of them don't know that. So what gives you the right to lift anybody up and deliver them to your God? Because that's who you chose to serve. That's that Abraham and Moses mess. Super egotistical, super arrogant, just as loud and arrogant and wrong. But somebody that's damn near 60 years old, done been involved in religion their whole life, and telling you they made a choice after careful study and long prayer and meditation, after years of study, prayer, and meditation, that they made a choice and left Christianity. You don't have the right to lift them up and attempt to bind them back to Yahweh. You just put yourself in the place of a demon for anybody that chose to do that, and I rebuke you. I rebuke you for myself. I rebuke you for the students that are coming here that are wanting to expand their consciousness and wanting to be able to get help turning their worship gene off. And I rebuke that energy for this channel. And that's the reason I had to make this video. I want that to stand energetically through as long as this channel stands. Anybody that dares to bring that kind of negativity to this channel, I rebuke it, consign it back to Archangel Michael, Enki, Yeshua, and the rest of my spirit team and Thoth, and send it right back to them and let that bounce up off of us all day. We trying to open our eyes and be free. We don't need to be re-enslaved like they choose to remain enslaved. So anyway, that was just my little rant. I just really had to get that off my chest, because I'm here to attract soul tribe, soul family, and I take that very seriously, and I'm very protective of the soul tribe and the soul family. And when I see, because like I said, there wasn't no need for her. She was in the live stream. This lady was in the live stream, and because she must have kept on until she got timed out over there, she waited till her timeout was over and then came and left this long, lengthy message on my thing. I removed it. I definitely removed it, and I think I made her invisible so she can't comment anymore. But I definitely want to address that in case any of the rest of them get the idea to do that too. Be very careful when you do that, because honestly, if you do the wrong thing for yourself, if your heart is pure for yourself, that's one thing. But if you're going out there deliberately choosing something after somebody had told you that that's not what they want to do, even Yeshua didn't take it upon himself to be that demanding and forceful on somebody. You know what you wind up doing when you do that? You sound like them Jehovah Witnesses. They just keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up and insisting that they're going to convert you, even though you done told them 15 times you don't want that. I walked away from that kind of mess. So whoever told these folks out here that that's part that they're supposed to make a ministry out of being a carbuncle on the behind of somebody that does not want that, that's not your place to do that, folks. It really ain't. And you put yourself, if you wind up being a stumbling block to somebody, the scriptures will tell you that it's going to go really, really bad for you if you stumble someone spiritually because you were stuck in your own arrogance that way. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. I have a message here. I bring it here. If you want to learn it, cool. If you don't, and that's what we all have to do. You're not going to never be able to just hold somebody down and waterboard them with something just because that's what you choose to do. Go serve whoever you want to. There's people out here who actively openly serve Satan. I mean, all of them ultimately serving Satan because they don't know any better. But I'm saying there are people that call themselves Satanists and they choose to. And guess what? That's their right. And if you're not busy coming after them, leave me and everybody who wants to come over here the hell alone, because we ain't bothering nobody. We're trying to become enlightened. And we are very much tapped into Christ consciousness and what Yeshua said to do. And for all of them good Bible thumpers that think that because we handle some tarot cards over here that give them a right to speak, I've spoken on that several times on the channel too. As hypocritical as Christianity is, with all the black magic and the divination and the magic tricks and all that stuff that they outline in the scriptures that they do, how dare you criticize a tarot card? Because they don't even understand tarot cards were written with a lot of Kabbalistic and religious elements even placed in them, the very spiritual elements placed in them. But the Levitical priests carry the and the Thummim. The Catholics still doing magic spells to this day. All Christians that, if you celebrate Easter and the Passover, you're engaging in magic and binding spells and curses and rituals and all that good stuff. And if you celebrate any of the religious holy days, holidays through Christianity or any of the rest of them, you for real, you are absolutely doing pagan rituals. So no, you don't get to criticize me in the soul family over here about no tarot cards. Really don't, because I'm definitely not celebrating the Saturnalia and the Lupercalia and the Day of the Dead and all of that other stuff that y'all doing over there in the church house. Not even. Anyway, that's my little rant. I'm getting on out of here about that because I just had to get that off of my chest. And like I said, I want this video to stand as an energetic signature on here, that if they continue to do it, we just returning all of that back to sender. We wrapping it in love. We ain't got to 10 times it, 100 times it, or none of that. We just reject that energy and let our ancestors and our guides, our spirit team, send it back to them. So mote it be, and so it is. Ashe. I love you so much, soul family, and until next time, peace and blessings to you. Take care of yourselves and each other. In the meantime, in between time, I'm going to be up out of here now. I love you. Namaste.